live Q&A following Hannah's presentation, all about choosing and using color in crochet garments. But even if I say choosing and using color in garments in general, or in your life general, because Hannah's presentation was so versatile that you can use those tips and tricks for pretty much anything color related in your life. So we've got fabulous Hannah with us if you want to ask any questions, and we're just going to quickly address that piece of music playing over there in that video.
First of all, I need to say I'm extremely sorry, everyone. But also, like, I love the comment of someone saying, "I didn't know you were so good at classical guitar, Hannah." I mean, like, it's a hidden talent I never knew I had.
Did you have the guitar under the desk?
I was just hiding it. I pre-recorded. No, I didn't. I absolutely don't really know what happened, and I'm very, very sorry, and we will sort it. That's the main thing. Yeah. We will sort it. I will figure out. I think YouTube has done something odd and overlaid some music. It was not my music at all. Not quite sure what I was playing at, but there we go. It was on there, and it was for about 2 minutes. I can see on my editor on YouTube. So what I'm trying to do is get rid of it. If I can't get rid of it, what I can do is re-upload the whole video, and I will send out a new link to everyone. But I said this, didn't I, in the beginning? It was only the beginning. It was probably me just waffling and saying hello and who I was anyway. So I don't think you actually missed very much, but I'm still sorry, and I will still try and sort it for you. Absolutely. But come on in, everyone. Say hi. I hope it if it frustrated you, I'm really sorry. But if it gave you a giggle, then that's fantastic. So.
Well, what it certainly gave everyone was a lot of information about color.
Good.
And honestly, I do have to say, as you can probably tell from a few garments that I have worn, I am pretty much one color girl. Not because I just like one color, but it's because choosing and putting colors together does scare me a little bit. I know there are a few tips and tricks. I think they say, like, take a picture in black and white to see how much
the balance
you got between colors and stuff. But honestly, I'm gonna have to save that presentation. I'm gonna listen to Hannah once again and really get into this color theory and make use of the color wheel and all the different ways you can put colors together and choose 2, 3, 4 more colors if you want to, and bring some more colors into my garments, I think. So my to-do list is HanJan Crochet poncho in multiple colors.
Absolutely. Love it. Nailed it. Everyone is being so kind in the comments. Thank you so much, saying we all have tech challenges. Yes. And technology is tricky sometimes. It really, really is. And we're off already. Catherine said, have you heard the finding of the finding your color by seasons, cold and warm? Yes. And it's amazing. And I'm seeing more and more that this is what people do. They go for a different color palette for different seasons, which I think is awesome. But if you're looking for a broad spectrum of what suits you, then you can get those color charts that you put them under your chin.
Yes,
have you seen them?
Yeah, I saw a few reels. I think they go like a big stripy fabrics, and they put it under people's faces, and then
see what it does with your skin tone. That's really interesting. But you know what you can still do? You can do that. Like I said in the presentation, go into a shop, try different things in different colors that you think, I would never wear that, but try it on and see what it looks like. Because I've tried so many different things on in shops and gone, oh my gosh, that's hideous, and I'm never going to wear that color. But that's fine, that's cool, you know. But you don't know until you try it. Yes. That's my thing. If you're looking for a block color, but then if you're putting colors together, I think it's really, really important, like I said in the video, to know your color wheel, know what works together, and go. If you're unsure and don't want to experiment, then stay within those safety parameters. Stay in one of those techniques. You know, use your complementary colors or use your monochromatic colors for a project and see how it fits, see how it works for you.
Brilliant advice. Yeah.
Where are we? Oh. Thank you for all the information. Choosing color combinations that works is always a challenge. Yeah, I know, and that's why I put my big course together, because so many people, it's a big stumbling block for them, and they're just like, well, I'm not going to choose a combination of colors, I'll just do it in one color because there we go, I know that's safe. And
am I right in saying that within the power pack, if people did opt for the power pack, which is the upsell to the VIP ticket, or available with the free ticket as well, to purchase, Hannah is offering a $75 voucher towards your full-blown color course. So if you enjoy this presentation, that gives you lots of information. Let Hannah take you on a color journey and join her course to really understand color and never kind of wonder like, oh, do these two colors go together? Do they look nice on me? So yeah, that's a really brilliant offer that Hannah is included in a power pack.
Thank you. And Joanne said, rewatch and love the color charts, extremely useful and helpful. Yeah, I think if you can actually see it in real life, in that color wheel, you go, oh yeah, that's why they work together, or that's why they don't work together. But I love bending the rules as well. Don't always think, you know, it can only be this way. Bend the rules if you want to bend the rules. And I started doing that a bit more, especially with my children. So my boys are like similar to the age of yours, aren't they? Like, so mine is 7 and 4. And they have strong opinions about what colours they do and do not want to wear. Thank you, Mummy. And I've just let them go with it. Actually, you can see Elliot's hoodie there, the blue with the brown and the green and that. And he picked those yarns up, and I was like, do you know what? I wouldn't put those together, but that actually works. That you know that, and for him, it speaks his personality. He loves those kinds of colours. So you know, experiment and have fun. And I think a really good place to experiment and have fun with colours in garments is in children's garments.
Yeah,
because
kids can get away with it, can't they?
Get away with it, and also they're a lot quicker and easier to make. You know, you're not going to be putting you'll put hours and hours into it, but not as many hours as if you're making an adult garment. So I think it's well worth it with children's.
And there is no color police at the end of the day. Like no one's going to stop you in the street and say, well, you can't wear those colors together. Sorry, take that off. So just do what makes you happy. But yeah, if you want to really put the theory into practice, then yeah, Hannah's presentation really gives you that knowledge to go for it.
And this is awesome to hear that this person was clueless and now people compliment my choices of color. Awesome. Job done. Tick that box. Yes. Yes. Lots of people enjoying it. Oh, I have a question here from Caroline. Hi, Caroline. How do you choose from your stash if you don't want to buy more yarn? So from my stash, what I normally do, if I've got a selection of colours within a certain brand, I normally use the same brand. I have been naughty in the past and mixed and matched and all that kind of stuff, but you know, I will lay them out and I will put them out on a table on a plain white background, and I will take a photo. And I taught this to my mum quite some time ago, and she was like, you do what, Hannah? And I was like, no, it works, I promise. So I get them all out and I lay them all out in a line, and I'll take a photo. And then when I've done them in that line, I change them around, and then I take another photo, and I do every single combination to make sure that they all work together. Because if you have one red herring that just doesn't quite complement one of them within it, you cannot put them next to each other.
Yeah,
you can if you're happy for them, but they might jar. And if a color jars with another color in the palette, it might go, say you've got 5 colors, it might go with 3 of them, but there's one that it might not go with, and so that one has to go. You have to find another one that comes in to complement. You can have accent colors, most definitely, that pop and sing against the other colors, but you don't want any that jar against it and don't sit well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, and here we have another one. Question: can we use the hue in different shades, tone, or tint in the same garment? Most definitely, absolutely. That's a really good way of adding really subtle and elegant, they look really sophisticated garments in those kind of tones, and especially like in color blocks. I've done a sweater, actually, it's not released yet. I made it like a year ago and I still haven't released it, where it's got like a cream and then it goes to a fawny color and then it goes to like a pinky color. So they're all a really similar selection of colors. They're not very far away from each other, but they all complement each other really nicely. And there's loads of yarns out there now, aren't there, that they're kind of ombre yarns, aren't they, that work from the light to the dark, and that yarn does the work for you. So that's another really good way of doing it, of just finding an ombre yarn that does it.
And there are a couple of other yarns. I think it was 201's. She designed a whole range of yarn.
Color Theory, isn't it? Yeah. What have I got here? I've got something in Color Theory. So yeah, any of the colors in Color Theory work together, because we have pops of color, but they go with everything. But in this one, I made sure that I didn't have the reddy color right next to the brown, because I thought that would be then too much of a cluster of color. So I separated those and made sure that there was more neutral than there were the brighter colors in this.
Definitely.
So, and it's all trial and error as well, isn't it? It's all experimenting, or not necessarily error, but experimenting. That's what
but if color scares you a little bit, that type of yarn in combination with Hannah's presentation put together, it's a great kind of starting place, isn't it? To start playing around with colors and kind of pushing yourself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, because Dawn's quite rightly said sometimes you wouldn't think colors work, but they do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's why I love that whole idea. Even if you're not working from your stash, if you're actually in a yarn shop, I do this as well, and everyone looks at me like I'm a bit crackers. I lay them out and I take a picture.
Yeah.
And again, my mum gets very embarrassed and she's like, Hannah, stop it. But it works. It works. And it's really important to see what they look like together.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I do, and I talk about this in my color course as well, is that online, most if you're buying online, which very often I do, I don't actually see my yarn in person before I order it. I do screenshots, and I do go to that trouble. I do screenshots, and then I put them together in a document. I use Canva, but you can use any kind of document that you can put images into, and I put them together and I switch them around, I move them around, and I figure out, that's how I plan for projects.
Yeah.
I figure out what works with the one next door to it.
Looks best. Yeah. We've got.
Oh, yeah. Catherine saying once you know your season, it's easier to go shopping. Yeah, definitely. But choosing colours for crochet is still a challenge.
Well, hopefully the presentation will help with that one a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got someone saying definitely need to join your course. Go for it.
Yeah. Go for it.
Julia loves your colour course already. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but don't give up on a colour just because a particular tone of the colour doesn't work. That's really important. Yeah, really important. There are so many different tones within a colour. Or the other thing might be is that, 3 of those colours out of the 5 don't work. Well, maybe if you really love that colour, change the other 3. Go for it. Completely change. There are no rules. There's no rules here. Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. And Maribel said, I love colour. I almost always change up the colours in patterns and very rarely go with the colours in the patterns. Yeah, that's awesome. If you're confident enough to do that, then that's amazing. But on the flip side of that, if you're not confident to do that and you don't enjoy it, but I've got a friend who really frustrates her, and she gets really stressed by having to choose colours. So she's like, I only make patterns that I like the colour that the designer has used.
Yes.
And then she just goes with that because she's like, then I know that the placement of it will all work fine, especially if they're multicolored. She's like, it will just work.
Yeah. Yes. I totally get that, because sometimes it's quite hard to visualize your color choices in a particular pattern. So I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a question saying, can we still get the bonuses if we are a VIP? I think there was a link. Yeah, so the power pack isn't a bonus. It's a separate thing entirely, because we have 15 of us. We were like, what can we put together? We have tons of resources that are not necessarily garment related. Like my color course isn't about garments. I talk mostly about blankets, but it is applicable to garments. So we have this huge treasure trove of 15 things that we are calling the power pack. So let me find the link for that, but it is a separate purchase to the VIP. The VIP is for the lifetime access of this summit that we have here.
Materials. Yeah.
Right. Talk amongst yourselves, because I don't know where I've left it.
I'll just talk to myself.
Right, but talk amongst you, literally yourself. Yeah.
We've got Helen. She's going to be watching your presentation over and over. So much great information. I love colour and colour theory. Fantastic.
Oh,
and here we go. Reply to a comment. You're so right. If mustard doesn't work for you, lemon might. So that's a different kind of type of yellow. So definitely play around with different tones and stuff. Here we go. Loved your presentation. Fantastic.
This is a great idea. I like making granny squares with different combinations to see what I like or what looks good together. That's a really good idea. And then you can keep them as swatches, can't you, to see? Yeah, definitely, and refer back to them.
Yeah, once you work out the order of the colours, then keep your granny square.
Everyone's saying, that's a great idea. Samantha, say, I'm curious on what your preference is when working with variegated yarn on sleeves. Do you just go with the flow or dissect a ball of yarn to make them match? I'm a dissector. I'm definitely a dissector because what have I got? I've got this one I've got lots of cuts. So I was wearing this the other day, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So for this one, I was like, if this side doesn't have a dark, I mean, it's not exactly, but
yeah,
this doesn't have a dark section here, it's going to look, the balance will be wrong.
Yeah.
Balance will be wrong on this because there's such a variation in the colors. Now this, it's not cheating at all, but this feels like a cheat because this color is variegated. So it does the work for you. And I just picked up the pink for the collar and the cuffs and everything.
Yeah.
However, look, I've got so many examples. I told you I've done lots of granny stitching, didn't I? Whereas this is a much more subtle change. There's not so much contrast.
Yeah.
So actually, I think you could get away with just doing whatever comes. I did match as best I could for these. Yeah, I've got the yellow going there. But I think for this and that scarfy cardigan that Selena was wearing, that you could get away with that. The colors and the tones in that were much closer to each other, so I think you could get away with it in this yarn, but perhaps not quite so much in the more contrasting variegated yarns.
Yeah, because there isn't one color that the eye gets drawn to, is it? They all kind of flow nicely together, so you can kind of get away with it a bit better.
Yeah. My adult children want granny square garments, but they want 20 or 30 colors. Any advice on how to put colors in the different rounds of the squares? Good luck. I think if you're using that many colors, I think what the best thing to do would be is to choose a base color. Choose a neutral, and if you're working in granny squares, have the final round of each. I would do in your neutral or your black or your base color.
Yeah,
and then to tie it together, and also to know then that none of that, because you would do so well to get 20 or 30 colors that all blend and work nicely next to each other. So actually what you need to do is separate them, I think, and then it will look like a beautiful kaleidoscope. It will look absolutely stunning, but I think only if you separate those colors from each other, unless you have, like, you can work out how they use as a gradient, but that will be a huge amount of work to figure that out. That would be very, very tricky to do. So that would be my advice on that. Unless, could you think of anything else?
It would be pretty special to get 20, 30 colors to all kind of match together, isn't it? So I think, like you said, going with one color that will tie all those colors together would be the way to go, because then it doesn't matter that you have like yellow going with something else, because you'll have that base color in between. So yeah, definitely the way to go.
Definitely. Valerie is saying, I'm making a summer dress and chose my own colors. When they got here, I was a bit unsure, seeing the color charts you put up there across from each other, so are for a real punch of color. Yes, yeah, I think contrasting colors, especially for summer stuff, is amazing, absolutely amazing. And contrast in terms of also against white or against black, or like the pop of color, it's really powerful. And also, like with a crochet, you want it to be something that you can't buy in a shop. And using color is a way that you can do that. So be bold, be brave is what I say.
Summer's definitely the season to do it in as well, isn't it? Summer's so like a playful time of the year. So definitely go for all the colors.
Yeah. Tina says she had a disaster.
Oh no.
We're close to finishing the sleeve on my granny square jumper, but I've run out of yarn. We'll have to color match. Yeah, that does have to happen. It does have to happen sometimes. If you absolutely run out and can't get the yarn, you have to. And sometimes in color, it is frustrating when making garments. I think sometimes when you always need to make sure that you buy enough. Always make sure you buy over, and just know that you're going to have some to add to your stash, because even the yarn, if it's a different batch, might be a slightly different dye. It might be slightly. I've experienced that before, whereas, like, especially with like lighter colors, creams can very often actually be nothing like the other cream that you've actually begun the project with.
And the great thing is that you always kind of notice when you are quite a few rows
along. You're right.
When you get the two blocks together, then you notice this is nothing like the color I've been using.
Oh, and Angela said the top you're wearing in the presentation was so cute. Thank you very much. It's a pattern that is coming out. It's one of my Franny Granny collections. And again, like, I don't think many people would go, oh, those colors work together. You know, it's quite a complex palette of colors. But again, this is how I took my pictures. Lined them all up, moved them all around, figured out which ones went best with each other so that I could work out my sequence. But I think when you're using lots of colors, a random sequence is the way to go, definitely for me, because then it doesn't feel too structured or too ordered and just not quite so stripy as well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing for me. Oh, Esther's saying, I love your sweater, Hannah. Thank you. What stitches are on it and is there a pattern for it? Yes, there is a pattern for it. It's called the Dearra sweater and it's on the blog and it's in my stores as a PDF. And you know, we were saying about short rows. Short rows. This has got short rows that end up looking like knitted cables. So you work them, or it's sort of two T pieces. So it's T shape at the front and a T shape at the back, and then you seam for wherever you want. It's got these nice shoulder seams that hold it together, and you just seam your neckline to wherever you would like it to be. So yeah, the Dearra sweater, this one. I find it challenging to choose colors purchasing yarn online. Any tips for this? Well, yeah. So as I touched on before, I take screenshots. Like make sure that your screen, if you can do it on a desktop or a laptop or I would avoid doing it on a phone because it's very, very hard to see, or you know, in size wise on a phone. So if you can do it on a bigger device, then do and take a screenshot and put those colors together. And I think at We Crochet they have the ability, you can open up a number of yarns,
little tabs, tabs
of the yarns, and you can move them around and you put them together, etc. But even so, still with that, I still will take screenshots and I will put them in Canva to play around with them and see how they sit with each other. But yes, just make sure the brightness on your screen, whatever you're looking at, is set to like a 0, a standard. Don't have it too bright or too dark because that will alter. It won't alter how well the colors go together because you'll still see how the colors work together in terms of their tones. But it will check, you know, then the yarn might arrive and you're like, blimey, that's brighter than I thought. The brightness of your screen is turned down. I've done that before and I feel like, oh gosh, that's more than I expected.
I think some websites even do say that it obviously depends on the brightness of your screen, doesn't it? Right. The colors and stuff. So you have to be careful with that one.
Darlene saying, I think laying them out in the yarn shop is very smart. It also helps to get feedback from others in the store. Yes, so this happened to me recently when I just showed you those yarns, didn't I, Veronica? When I was over in Florida and I went to this amazing yarn store and it was really full. It was really busy. And I just ended up chatting to like 3 or 4 different people who were nearby me. And they were like, oh, that looks nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that doesn't go, does it? Oh, we ended up having this back and forth and chatting about what worked and what didn't. And then someone went and found me another yarn from another part of the shelf because she was like, I think this will go much better. It was really, really lovely. Really, really lovely.
Yeah, very often the local yarn stores and stuff, the people working in there, they really know their stuff and they're so happy to chat with you and give you advice. Yeah,
definitely. There are Joanne saying, I want to use more colors in my wardrobe. I typically wear black and pink and basics. Yeah, I've got with my actual clothes, I do wear fairly plain neutral stuff, but then I think it's good. There's 2 camps, isn't there? I think it's really good to have neutral crocheted items that you can then pair with brighter and more colorful and pattern things, but then also, you know, go for it with your crochet as well and have that as the bright and then just wear your plains. Yeah, your plains, definitely. Ooh. Right, next one. Catherine, to see the design in a pattern in a single color garment, is it better to use a light color or a dark color? I would say a light. Well, it depends on your fiber that you're using, really, because if you've got a particularly fluffy fiber, then it's not going to show it. So I would go with something similar that the designer has, but a lighter color. I feel like this one will always show off a stitch pattern and a design better than a dark color.
Like navy or black colored yarns, they very often kind of swallow any type of texture or stitch pattern. It's so lighter color would work better in my opinion as well. Yeah,
definitely. And then a response to someone here is generally go into a store if they carry the brand and see the colour in person before purchasing online if you can. Yeah, that's a great tip too. If you can go and also then you get to squish it, don't you, as well? But then, some of us don't live anywhere near yarn stores. Unfortunately, the closest is 3 hours away. So if you have no option but to buy online, then I think just get creative with.
Yeah, I mean, do they still do shade cards? Is that still a thing? You can order a shade card.
I don't think many places do anymore. I don't think they do,
because that was a really great. You could kind of feel the fiber a little bit, and see the real color. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Maybe someone on Etsy does like those yarn pegs.
Oh, the pegs, yes,
You can order. So they kind of buy the whole ball of yarn and they make up little yarn pegs, and you can order those pegs before committing to those colors. So maybe search for yarn color pegs on Etsy to have a look at the colors before investing in a whole bunch of yarn you might not use. So there's a way.
And we've got 2 questions about your Reno sweater. Is it the Reno sweater you're wearing? It is, isn't it?
Yes.
In the dishy. And so what pattern is it and where can they find it?
Oh, so this is the Reno cardigan, and you can find it in my Etsy store. It's worked in We Crochet dishy yarn, so it's really hard wearing and really durable. So this was, I think I made the sample last year in summer, and honestly I wore the life out of it, and it still looks really really nice.
It looks really great still. Yeah, absolutely. A question here about what's the name of your color course. So it's can't remember what is
ultimate.
It's on my website. It's on my website. If you go to my website and go to go to shop, on there's a section for courses, but it's about using color, the ultimate guide to using color in crochet. It's something like that.
Let me see if I can just quickly put it up. Using color in crochet course. I've got the link, so I'll put the link into our private chat, and you pop it on to the.
Oh, there we go. Well done. See, there you are.
Coloring crochet course. There we go.
There we go. Oh, there we are. Everyone's using it. Everyone's saying it. Color, confidence in color. Well done.
There we go.
Everyone knows my stuff better than I do.
You didn't even know you had the V-neck pattern.
I know. Dear, oh dear. You know, like I'm very much like I've done that. There we go.
Oh gosh.
Maybe I'm at that point in life where things just start falling out of my head, you know.
Yes, notepad and pen is the way to go from now on, Hannah.
I write down everything. I'm terrible. I did that even then.
Honestly, if it's not written down, it's not happening.
Not happening.
Nope.
There
we go. Are we going?
Nice. Really nice. You were both wearing great colours that brightens up your faces. Yay!
I think mine might be the sun bouncing off my neighbour's car parked on their drive. You can see, look.
Oh, good. So, yeah, gosh, yeah, you've got.
Oh, the sun is coming from behind me, bouncing off of the neighbour's car and coming straight into my eye. So I might just have to pull that closed a bit. But
oh dear. Cool.
Right, and we're nearing.
I think we're there, aren't we? Time-wise. As I say, I'm so sorry about the technical hitch with that. I will try my absolute best to get that fixed for you. But as I say, it was for two minutes, I think it was running. It felt like forever, didn't it? But it was for 2 minutes, and it was literally just me saying, hello, I'm Hannah, and I'm going to talk to you about colour. So, and Chrissy's saying, we look like cousins. We've been accused of being sisters, haven't we, before?
Yes,
so now cousins.
A few of that.
We'll take that. So next up, we've only got 2 more presentations to go.
I know.
So we've got Marley Bird teaching us how to add beads, and she's literally physically going to show us how to do it. So pop over and figure out how to add beads to your crochet garments, and then come back. We will be joined by the amazing Marley Bird, and we will have a chat all about beads.
Yes, so we'll see you very